let me introduce you to a game that has the potential to shake up the entire MMO and RPG communities. With over 200,000 concurrent players and a very positive review score on Steam, it's shaping up to be very noise. It's called Where Winds Meet, and this is the largest, most in-depth free-to-play game I've ever seen. Like, dude, this game offers an action-packed ancient Chinese story mode stuffed inside a giant MMO, filled with boss battles and competitive PvP and all of that. So let's take a deep dive into this game and see what's up with it. So let's get real, I'm excited about this game because the developers requested I play the game and make a video about it, so I figured alright, I'll play a few hours, write a little review, but the truth is, I ended up being late on making this video because I was spending so much time simply playing the game. The more I played, the more impressed I was. Even at a $60 full AAA price tag, this game would be solid. It is indeed quite impressive in many aspects. I mean, everywhere you turn, you're surprised by how much this game offers. Now, gameplay is most important for me. I feel like a combat mechanics specialist when it comes to video games, and this game does not disappoint. The depth of the game's combat system and the variety of weapon styles it offers is nuts. It is nutty, man. The combat may seem wonky at first, but it begins to feel very nice and fluid after playing for a little bit. And I will definitely talk more about the combat system later because there is much to discuss with all the weapons and abilities. It's freaking awesome, a highlight of the game. Though something else that felt very refreshing was the charm and creativity in this game. I mean, I'm out here learning Tai Chi from a black bear. They have clearly spent so much time and effort on all these little details, crafting something really special with a ton of creativity. For example, dude, check this out. So you pull up on a random lady, she's got a side quest, and she begins talking about this evil lair where a super powerful demon resides. Even the greatest fighters in the surrounding area came to fight this demon, but the warriors lost the battle. The demon was stronger. So there's all this crazy hype, but when you actually show up to the location, you don't find a giant three-horned devil. All you see is a goose. A goose. However, the stories were true, and this goose was a menace, man. It beat my ass multiple times. It seemed like defeating this goose was impossible, the almighty goose, until I finally used Tai Chi to throw the goose back in the water. And then that's how you beat it. Like, come on, man. Peak gaming right there, my dude. That is peak RPG experience. Plus, speaking of peak RPG, you can pet a cat. Yo, dude, everyone knows if you can pet a cat, it is automatically a top tier game. Indubitably quadruple A gaming. That's simple, indisputable facts. Now, I want to talk about the first thing you'll notice when you load in is just sensory overload. Like, the game throws an ocean of systems at you. Menus inside sub-menus, challenges, artifacts, abilities to unlock, weapons to upgrade. It's a lot, but here's the thing. It's overwhelming in a good way. Everything I've engaged with so far has been actually worthwhile and easy to understand once you take a second to actually read it and figure things out, maybe use your brain a little bit. I mean, the more the merrier, right? If I'm gonna drown in content, at least drown me in quality content that's worth my time. And this, I would say, definitely is. I mean, it was at this point in my journey, after exploring just a fraction of the activities, challenges, and events this game has to offer, I then realized there's an entire other planet of multiplayer and PvP on top of all the story mode content. You've got 1v1 dueling in the arenas, and even a legit battle royale mode. And this mode is way better than it has any right to be. It actually slaps, my dude. Tell me why the battle royale in this Wuxia MMO-RPG is smoother and feels better than many games that strictly prioritize battle royales, like Naraka Blade Point, for example. This one free-to-play game does it damn near just as good, if not better. Now, let's discuss my favorite aspect, combat mechanics. First off, the variety is awesome. You got close quarters melee attacks, you got long range projectiles, you got weapons for healing, everything. And every type isn't just a different skin, each one has its own move set, its own combat style, and its own signature abilities, such as the umbrella shooting a stunning bubble, or the katana grappling an enemy to quickly close the distance. They all got their own unique abilities, which is very cool. I love that. But what I truly love about this combat system is how the martial art abilities feel distinct, and you can switch up fighting styles on the fly. You aren't forced to use a certain style to fight certain enemies. You can choose which weapons and which abilities you want to learn. And then, during the middle of combat, you can instantly switch from a healing umbrella to a giant high damage sword to a crowd control spear, all with the press of a button. This makes every encounter feel stylish and fluid. On top of all the different weapon styles, you have your own abilities tied to your character. You can whip out a big ass bell and scream at your opponent, stunning and slapping them down, or transform into a giant frog, debuffing the area. In fact, you can transform into particular characters from the story using their signature attacks. I mean, there's a whole system of skills with multiple transformations, buffs, debuffs, and unique attacks. Overall though, I feel like I haven't even scratched the surface of what this game has to offer in regards to gameplay. This is the kind of combat system where you'll still be discovering new tech hours and hours into the game. There were a bunch of things about this game that really caught me off guard in a very interesting way. For example, you can have legitimate conversations with various NPCs. I am talking responsive, real conversations about certain topics. Here's an example of it. I was having a conversation with this NPC and I wanted to experiment with this system. So I randomly called the dude ugly. I said, "You ugly, my boy, you ugly." And he directly responded to that. Calling him ugly was fighting words for him because he got real pissed off. He was triggered, immediately threw his paws up and started fighting me because I typed in ugly into the chat. That's freaking awesome, dude. I mean, come on. That's some GTA 6 level engagement. Most gaming studios are looking at AI like, ooh, how do we turn AI into a money printing machine, baby? How do we pump out bullshit to sell with AI? Meanwhile, these developers are using AI to actually enhance their game in ways that are near impossible without using AI. The only real complaint I have are the menu screens I spoke about earlier. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, the menus are a bit fucked, but it is functional, so it's not too bad. And that's my only gripe. Pretty much everything else is great. So of course, the game is not perfect. However, to get this level of quality with its combat, its graphics, the story, all for free. Ayo, my guy, install the game, have fun, don't overthink it. Just simple as that. For me, this game is quite captivating. Chinese games are rising fast, man, and I do love seeing different cultures hitting this level of quality in their games. I swear I'm doing my best not to sound like I'm glazing this game, but it is difficult. Like, if I were to describe this game, my first thought would be to call it an ancient Chinese Elden Ring, because that is how it feels at first. You've got a single-player RPG stuffed inside an MMO with competitive PvP sprinkled on top. Now, usually, a game this diverse and massive ends up being problematic. It's called feature creep. Game developers get ahead of themselves, bite off more than they can chew, and the game becomes a giant mess of all different types of elements without properly executing on a single thing. However, here, somehow, all its elements can stand on its own feet. You can solely play the single player story mode, never go online, and it would be a solid experience. Or you can strictly engage in the PvP activities, pretty much ignore the storyline, and that would be a solid experience. It legitimately feels like multiple games combined together, providing various gaming experiences. And that is a big reason why this game is becoming more and more popular. It's uniting. It's bringing together all different types of gamers. If you enjoyed Elden Ring or Ghost of Tsushima, you'll probably like this game. If you enjoyed Naraka Blade Point, you'll probably like this game. If you enjoyed those Final Fantasy MMOs, you'll probably like this game. In conclusion, this game is gorgeous, generous, and suspiciously free. Like, I keep wondering, did I accidentally sell my soul to China when I accepted the terms of service on this game? I mean, dude, is someone getting ripped off here? Because there's no way this level of polish is free and costs $0. And with that being the case, there is no reason not to check it out for yourself. I've dropped a link to the game's Steam page down below, so go ahead and use that link if you're interested in playing this awesome game. Well, I thank you very much for watching. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section, and I'll talk to you later. Stay golden.